Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and today we're going to be taking a look at turning a compressor into a distortion unit, or more specifically a Waveshaper, a type of distortion. And so we're going to be using Blue Cat Audio's Dynamics plugin. It just got a revamp. It's really fancy now. And one of the things that's really cool with a compressor is if you take the attack all the way down to 0 and the release all the way down to 0, well, it's going to try and compress with instantaneously. It's going to try, as soon as something happens, it's going to try and bring it down, and then it's going to try and let go of it at the same time. And it gets crazy and happens to result in what we call as wave shaping. And so we're going to use that here. And you might say, why would you want to do this? It's actually pretty handy. There's a variety of ways you could use this. I'm going to use it in the most straightforward way you can use it, which is to distort something that you want to sound distorted already. So here I have this guitar. It sounds like this. So it's already pretty nice, pretty there for what I want, but I think I can get it a little edgier. Now, if you're curious, the original sound without a lot of this extra side processing sounded like this. And then I ran it through some simulators, cabs, amplifiers, so on and so forth. Plugins, compressors, equalizers, and I eventually wound up with. And now we're gonna add one more thing to the mix, and that is the Dynamics plugin. I'm going to put it on this send because I like the effect that it produces. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on right now. It shouldn't do anything because it's on default. So we play it. So what we're going to do now is we already have an attack of 0, release of 0, and a hold of 0. And so all we need to do to bring distortion into it is tell it to start compressing. Now there's an important knob I should point out, button. It's the compensate button. So if I bring down my threshold here and turn on a ratio, and I want to compress, so I'm going to go that way, then we see a ratio set forth, but we see the gain has been brought up, right? This should really be at 0. That's because of this compensate knob. And in this case, it's a really good thing. It means as we create our distortion, it's going to bring the audio up and we're going to get this distortion effect. And it's going to keep it around the same level as our input. And so we'll hear a true comparison here. Now I have clipping all over the place just because of the nature of these sounds. So I threw a couple generally useful mixing principles such as don't clip and watch your headroom kind of out the door for this creative stage. And so here I'm gonna let's start at 0, and then I'm gonna dial it in with the compensate on. So let's play that right there at the beginning. And so we can do a couple other nifty things here. We have a couple modes we can use. We can use our VCA to opto and get some different flavors here. We can also change our attack and release to really small values. It doesn't have to be 0, but incredibly small values will result in various distortions. So I'm going to go ahead and move these around a little bit. With the release especially, that'll help you sort of tame back some of the clipping and sort of get the sound that you want. Maybe you don't want that much edge. I quite like the amount of edge I'm getting. I'm going to leave it down at 0. I'm probably going to leave the attack around, I don't know, 1.9, 2 milliseconds. And what I'm going to do now, just to be a little extra creative, is I'm going to select this region, and I'm going to automate the ratio knob, and I might automate the threshold. And in FL Studio, to do that, you just click on this arrow and you go to browse parameters. It'll select them. We want to automate ratio, so we'll click automate. And I did that kind of fast, but if you right click it, there will be a menu with automate in it, and you could select that. Or what I did was I hit A. And what I'm thinking is, let's start out with some distortion, and this is going to basically change the flavor of our distortion, right? Not necessarily how much distortion, because our sound's already so loud. So this is going to be more of a timbral change. And so I'm going to just sort of do something like this. Let's see what we got. So right there, I kind of want that one to be edgier. So we'll bring this up right there. And this is controlling, again, the ratio. So we play it. Yeah, so we can match our phrase a bit better right there. I think we could start out not as aggressive and then mesh it up. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And let's see if we can do stuff right here. And we'll just sort of fine tune this little phrase. So right there, obviously, we'll want to start out, this is our big moment where we enter. So we're going to, and maybe keep it up a bit. And then right there, I feel like that should be a little more subdued, a little more musical. Nah, maybe not that subdued. Maybe a little more edgy. Maybe we go up a bit and then swivel on down. Maybe that'll be better. And that is the basics of how you can mess with a compressor, in this case specifically Blue Cat Dynamics, in order to create a wave shaping effect. I'm also going to try something that's kind of unique to the plug. They have a VCA opto, and I kind of want to automate that on and off as well and just see the kind of results I get. So I'm going to go to browse parameters, and we're going to automate that. And then let's compare this section right here, and then I think we'll call it good. So here, whoa, that was a significant difference. I definitely like it moving between the mix right there. What if we keep it static versus moving it versus nothing? Yeah, it comes out much better if we have some motion there. That's really nice. So that's that. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.